Did you ever ask yourself, criminals, how they become criminals? And most importantly, how the criminals learn their trade? How they learn to become successful in pickpocketing, in theft? The criminals are not just reserved towards the white-collar crime or blue-collar crime. You have criminals who are the assassins. Did you ever ask yourself who recruit them and how they are trained? But what if I told you that person trying to breach your company's firewall, the person phishing your executives, the one cloning your LinkedIn profile and watching your morning routines on Instagram, isn't some guy or woman hiding in a dark corner of the internet? They're not. Instead, they're standing beside you at the next networking event, or perhaps smiling at your social media post. But what they do, they are learning from all of us. Welcome to the battlefield, because the war for your identity, your access, and your trust, it doesn't happening in a parallel universe. It's happening in your feed. Exactly on your feed. But before we continue, I'd like to welcome all of you risk takers and truth seekers to the Life the Battlefield podcast, where we don't just expose scams, we decode deception. For those who don't know me, my name is Mario Bekes. I'm a Guinness World Record holder for the longest audio broadcast, as well as survived 1,800 consecutive combat days during the war. I worked in military and diplomatic intelligence security operations, and I have decades of high-level corporate and counterintelligence investigation. On top of this, I'm the author of the book Corporate and Workplace Investigations. So I don't talk theory. I talk field experience. I talk facts, not opinions. Because real life experience and facts important from you to learn. And today we are diving into a new kind of war zone. One where criminals don't take break in, they just need to scroll. Because social media, yes, social media, the very platform you and me and everybody trust, have becoming training ground for deception. And they are working better than any university or prison ever did. So I want to welcome all of you to the new digital classroom. So I want to share with you a true event from my early life. I do remember my first day on academy studying criminology. And I remember like now, it was a March 1995. Spring just started. But for those who don't know what criminology it is, let me explain in simple terms. Criminology, it's the interdisciplinary study of crime and criminal behavior, exploring its causes, effects, and societal responses. I was very naive intelligence operative, freshly engaged and being naive, believing in love. Yes, I was engaged and I was believing in love. Yes, first thing what we learned on academy, it was how criminals learn criminal modus operandi. Let me explain modus operandi. That is what type of criminal they become. Criminals become specialized. Some people know how to do copywriting. Some people know how to do assassinations. Some people know how to break and enter, and the list goes on. Every criminal has signature, name and surname, and type of person doing that type of criminal activities. So that's the modus operandi. Basically, it's how and why someone decide to become criminal, or how they learn to become criminals. If we go back in time, let's go say 1980s, it used to be that if you want to become criminal, firstly, you need to be recruited and you need somebody to teach you, a mentor, a syndicate, a street level apprentice. That being said, I can recall as if it was yesterday, they will bring the guys from prison. So we were sitting on a class and there will suddenly come the guys in handcuffs, in a prisoner outfit, uniform, whatever you want to call this. We all like, what are happening here, right? So the guy comes there. In those days, they can smoke on stage, and they will say name and surname, the prisoner number, and why they are in prison. And then they will explain how they make the tools, how they choose the targets. So we have a different type of criminals coming today in classroom. So now move 1980s in today DNA age. Today, you need a smartphone and Wi-Fi connection. And for those who don't know, Telegram channel now hosts fraud tutorials for hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You heard me correct. Telegram channel, it's a full of the tutorials, how to become excellent fraudster. Discord servers walk new recruits through phishing campaigns. Then you have a TikTok influencers, some just teenagers, explaining how to spoof bank details, fake verification, steal identities. Let's go talk the facts. Europol reports that cybercrime recruitment through Instagram and Telegram has exploded over 300% since 2021. I want that sit with you. Social media, in a nutshell, exploded and recruited over 300% since 2021. Then we have a Quora, Reddit, and Facebook groups. That's as well you need to add on top of TikTok and other platforms. Now offer step-by-step advice in gray zones that aren't even illegal until activated. This isn't the dark web anymore. This is the public domain of criminal education. That's how the criminals educate themselves. If I go back in time, me being a teenager, I was 12 years old, and I used to be loved to hang out with guys who were in juvenile or in early prison. When I say early prison, we call this for the between 16 to 22 years old. So you're not a juvenile, you're not a full prison with the adults, but they call it early prison. So the system was very, very harsh in communism. But I love to be among these guys because it looks like for me they always have the money, everybody's afraid of them, chicks loves them. I was wrong, very wrong, because I done the wrong things in the wrong time to wrong people, and I end up in court and juvie. So today you just need to go on the internet, and it's there, social media, from influencer to called fraudfluencer. You know who criminals watch the most? Influencers. Not to be inspired, but why? To mimic. Let me start with fitness influencers. They have built their brains on trust, transformation, and ambition. No question asked. After all, as a man, I want to have this amazing sculpted body and collect when I'm walking next to the women. But that being said, many fitness influencers now operate in the gray, selling unregulated supplements, fake natural steroid stacks, and fabricated coaching plans. You know, one size fits all. Sounds familiar? You just go there to fitness influencer. Then you have an AI generated before and after pictures, stolen testimonials, false credentials, and for some, the consequences were fatal. Very fatal. So let me share some names for you. Unfortunately, Australian fitness influencer Jackson Tippett. He died at the age of 30. Chris O'Donnell, better known as a Cree or Hody, suicide after relentless image pressure. Yanari Beffel passed away after years of monetizing content and illness. But they are not isolated events. They are case studies in performance pressure, public deception, and psychological warfare. And now you may ask yourself, why Mario is saying all of this? You know, guys, I'm 53 years old. I've been in a war. I had a six-pack. I chased the supplements. I chased the all these things market can offer. Some of things I try, some of things I didn't try. So I'm not chasing the fame to be a guy with a six-pack. If I wanted to do this, I'll go to my GP and I say, I want a TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, which, by the way, my GP always tells me, do not do this, Mario. It's not healthy. So why Mario saying all of this? It's simple. What you do and how you do, someone else observing, watching, and collecting. Criminals watch and replicate. Let me share what they do. How to build fast trust, how to sell emotion, how to vanish when exposed. You know the cryptocurrencies? The scammer strategy is influencer marketing. Just rebranded. Or repeat this one more time. The scammer's strategy is a influencer marketing. They just rebranded. Absolutely. New brand. What is your marketing? Somebody's a scamming strategy. Let's go move now into the corporate world. Let's talk about platform called LinkedIn. Most people treat it like a digital resume. Do you agree with me? For those who are using in corporate world, Facebook slowly disappearing from the horizon of the social media platforms. But LinkedIn becomes mixture between the Tinder, Facebook, TikTok. I'm watching on daily basis people posting not the work, not the solutions, but they're providing information about their life, their families, who they are meeting, what other people doing for a living, what's in a pipeline, how they're going to do the sale process. Criminals treat that like a playbook. I'm very honest, I'm laughing sarcastically. Because if I'm the criminal, I don't need to go in a school. I just go on a LinkedIn. How to become the fraudster? Because all fraud prevention methods are there. How to become expert in the piracy? All the methods are over there. Your post, your promotion, your tools, your partnership, it's for sale. It's for criminals to collect. They collect your hierarchy, your tech stack, and your vulnerabilities. They impersonating scams, and it's rising. Fake recruiters, clone vendors, malware-filled PDS disguised as a business opportunities. How many times did you got something online on LinkedIn, I talk about LinkedIn, and somebody offers you PDF? Do not click if you don't know that person. Do not open, because they are approaching you, they're stealing your identity, your knowledge, your accreditations, your credibility. As I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, I'm always saying this, I'm the legalist. So my podcast must and always will consist from the facts. So it's not my opinion. I'm not that guy. According to Tripwire, phishing via LinkedIn is now one of the fastest growing threats in corporate cybercrime. And the irony, these scammers learn how to talk like you by watching you. LinkedIn is no longer just for networking. In the military terms, it's reconnaissance. They're observing. Question is, why fraud is now a flex? Let's be honest. We live in a world that celebrates boldness over integrity. Wherever you go, people telling you, you don't need a school, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that. Just be bold and go for your dreams. Do whatever is necessary. Fake it till make it. Internet is full of those quotes. I can't understand that people falling for that rubbish. Because it's your life online, your life. And then one day you're going to say, I need to investigate. You're going to come to me. And I will tell you right now, if you don't watch what you put in social media platforms, somebody will collect the data. It's going to become you. Getting rich fast isn't suspicious anymore. In contrary, it's aspirational. The person who faked their credentials about 100,000 followers, no comments, they're getting brand deals. The kid who flips crypto scams on Telegram? Oh, he is just hustling. The American Psychological Association says this: digital validation reprograms our moral compass, especially in young adults. I'll repeat this again. American Psychological Association says digital validation reprograms our moral compass, especially in young adults. Go back at the beginning of my podcast. I copied fraudsters, perpetrators, criminals, it's all the guys on my street in my suburb, because I was thinking that was right. I was copying and I was being told it's okay. But today, that is why fraud is now a flex, especially in young adults. It's all about performance. Performance, a shortcut, a game. But all of this brings somebody money, but somebody must be the victim. I want to share this with you. Unsettling truth. Victims often train their attackers. LinkedIn. If you say you're the expert in fraud prevention and you're posting consistently about fraud prevention material from your organization, from your company, your intellectual property, guess what? You're going to become the victim, because somebody's going to become you, number one. Secondly, it's going to steal everything from you and apply to somebody else. So somebody is going to become the victim. And why is that? Because we post everything. Our job titles, our family trips, our new contracts. Each piece of information becomes a tool for guessing passwords, for social engineering, for planning the perfect approach. And it's not just personal. Businesses do it too, because the businesses hiring influencers, people who has no loyalty to your organization except a paycheck. Corporations engaging marketing companies. And nobody asks these marketing companies how they're protecting their intellectual property, how they're protecting their data. No, but you hire them. They're going to do this for you because you need a click, you need a like, because that's what they're selling to you, guys. That's what they're selling to you. And I'm watching this on a daily basis. And I can't believe it that companies engaging third parties to run their promotions without doing the due diligence. They publish organization charts, international milestones and partnership, thinking it's a good PR. But to a criminal, it's intelligence. It's a targeting data. And it's freely given for free. They didn't pay for this. It's for free. So think about next time when you engage somebody to do your marketing, particularly third party. The ecosystem didn't appear overnight. No, it is not. We built. We rewarded exaggeration. We celebrated shortcuts. We trained generations to believe that likes equal credibility. And now, the people who understand the best are the ones using against us. The fraudster, the imposter, the manipulator. They're learning from our posts and they are winning. And they're going to watch this podcast today as well. And they're going to ask themselves, how is that possible? How I can apply what Mario says? The question isn't, are you exposed? The question is, what are you doing about it? This isn't paranoia. This is the modern battlefield. Train your teams. Challenge what you post. Teach your kids, because the feed, the one you check before the bed, might be the same feed that's training your future attacker. I'm Mario Bekes, and this is Life the Battlefield. Subscribe, stay alert, and prepare, because the next fight of this war is already here. Thank you for watching. Till next time.